play himself onto this list.
I
For
would agree
some
with
reason, you know, a lot of people were talking about Will Stein a couple of weeks ago and said, well, if Kentucky gets back to national dominance, it's because of me. And I mean, a lot of people looked at him like, all right, dude, what in the world are you saying? Like, why are you trying to be like Kurt Signetti in the whole Google me situation? But if you take a look at what happened the last time a backup quarterback, left Notre Dame to go to another Power 4 program, it's Steve Angeli. And before Angeli tore his Achilles at Syracuse last year, Angeli was lighting it up. I mean, he made the Clemson defense look pretty bad, and I think Syracuse sat at 3-1, goes down for the year, and then look what happens there. I think Kenny Minchey could come in, and they open up the season against Youngstown State, which, you know, I went to college in Morgantown, West Virginia for 4 years, and Youngstown State was just up the road. They're a pretty good FCS team, so you definitely can't count them out yet. But if you take a look at who they play in week 2, they play Alabama. And that's going to be an interesting game to see, hey, is Kenny Minchey for real, or is he just hype coming from Notre Dame?
Yeah, and I know one of the things that you've talked about a lot is the fact that he was so close in that battle to even win the starting job at Notre Dame. Obviously, he wants to be able to play. He wants to get on the field. And that's the reason why he chose Will Stein. But I think he's in the best possible situation. The expectation levels are 0. Nobody expects anything from Kentucky this year. And so he can work with Will Stein. And Will Stein is kind of doing that Kirk Signetti thing, which I somewhat agree with. You're at a basketball school and you need to get eyes on football. And the first thing Kirk Signetti did is he created headlines. He created the Google me and all that kind of stuff. And
we know about how I feel about Lexington. They need some fans to show up in that stadium, let me tell you.
And Will Stein's trying to get them there. He talked about his quarterback and the expectations for the team coming up. And we'll get to that in a little bit. But no,
I will say though, I do agree with your point on Kenny Minchey, but I don't feel like he deserved to be on this list yet. Just because, he almost beat out CJ Carr at Notre Dame, but he didn't do it, right? And we haven't actually seen any proof of concept from him yet. So maybe he could work his way onto the list, but I don't think he deserves a spot yet.
Right. So you're saying that these kind of preseason lists should be based on primarily what we've already seen, what our eyes have told us, and not predictive.
A little bit, yeah.
And I agree with you. And this list looks like that. This list looks like it's taken from a guy that's looking not as prediction as a potential of what you've already, process of what you've already done going into this season. It is interesting for Kentucky, a pretty interesting schedule just overall, and what they have to look forward to. You mentioned the Alabama game. It does feel like he will line up against some good defenses. He will in the SEC. But we'll be able to get, hey, how good is this guy really going into the season?
Right. I can't remember. I just know that I know Alabama's one of them, but their first 3 games are crazy. I can't remember what the other 2 are off the top of my head, but I just remember that we're going to know how this Kentucky team is very early on in the season.
It's Youngstown State, who's an FCS powerhouse, and then Alabama, and then Texas A&M. But there's one game on this schedule. Yes, that's a pretty tough 3 games on this. I'm almost inclined to call an upset off the bat here just based on what we've seen in recent history. I think they beat LSU at home. Because if you look at Lane Kiffin when he was at Ole Miss the last 2 years, and if you go back, I think they played him in week 2 last year. You remember what he said? For some reason, they always play us close. I don't know what it is, but it's always close. Kentucky beat Ole Miss 2 years ago. And that was, Lane Kiffin thought that Jackson Dart could lead him to the college football playoff that year. Last year, I know Austin Simmons was quarterback at that point, but they only beat Kentucky by 7. So I don't know if the line is out. I don't think the line's out for this game yet.
Right.
But it's going to be something that you might want to keep an eye on just because it's for some reason.
And to extend that point, and I only remember this because I bet this game, the fact that there's always a game early that Lane Kiffin is favored by 3 touchdowns. And for some reason, it's a close game. Ole Miss did this last year. They played with their food against Washington State. And Washington State played in Oxford. They played in Oxford that game. And they won that game, I think it's 24-21. Beaten by 3 points, barely escapes. So there always seems to be that kind of game where it seems to be a head scratcher that they pull out at the very end. Can it be Kentucky yet again?
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say that playing in Lexington is a hard place to play. So it probably wouldn't be the team that I would pick to upset LSU, but maybe. We'll see.
People thought about that about
What did I tell you about trashing teams that you play against this year?
Patrick,
like this
isn't even objective where you give your opinion.
you always get these two confused. It's subjective.
This isn't even subjective. Anybody would tell you when you go to Lexington, half their fans don't even show up. You look around the stadium and you're like, nobody's in here.
All I'm saying is we might need to tone it back on talking trash about teams that you play against this year.
I'm not talking trash about the team, though. I think the team will be good. I'm talking trash about the fan base. They don't show up.
Well, I mean, the fan base.
They go to the horse races before they go to the football games, which is
Crazy.
crazy.
Hey,
I know, but it's a college town. It's an SEC college town.
Wow. I mean, we are trash.
We gotta show up.
They're waiting for Big Blue Nation, by the way. They're waiting for basketball season.
Yeah, exactly. So
all I'm saying is just maybe watch out, because if Kentucky beats Tennessee this year, then I'm gonna play that clip back, and then it'll be like, all right, you know.
Patrick believes crossing your fingers.
He believes in the gods of sports karma. Sports karma. It's like
I've witnessed it way too many times. I've said something that I probably shouldn't have about a team, and then all of a sudden 3 weeks later they beat my team, and it's like, well, I'm sorry for saying that.